so you know what's supposed to come next. I'm going to read you a scripture, or multiple scriptures. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to take communion. But I played soccer as a kid, and so I was a goalie because of my size. No, I was a goalie though. And one time we were playing indoor soccer, and I went up to get the ball. Went like this. It came down. I looked at my finger, and it was sticking out that way. And my mom and dad are here, and they remember this. I dropped to the ground screaming. I was like, "What happened?" But I couldn't just leave something dislocated. It had to be set. It had to be fixed. It had to be mended. And I'll be honest with you. Like, I know I'm not the only one who's got a heart that's hurting. I'm not the only one that's trying to figure some things out. I'm not the only one that has questions that aren't getting answered. And that's not on anybody. That's just like, hey Lord, I got a question. But I am convinced tonight that the Lord heals the brokenhearted. And that if you will surrender that brokenness. I don't know if you remember, it was about a year ago when I told you all I had high sugar. And I just invited the Lord into the brokenness. And He came in so beautifully. And He renewed my mind, and He gave me help. It's okay if we just say, hey, we haven't got it all figured out together. But tonight, we're just going to invite the Lord into the brokenness. Because He was broken. He was wounded for our transgressions. He was bruised for our iniquities. And I want to read you a story, a little bit of a story that you all know really, really well. So just bear with me as I read these verses. Jesus had been turned over. He's in front of a bunch of soldiers. And this is Matthew 27:27. That's where I'm going to start. And it says, then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the praetorium and gathered the whole garrison around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him. When they had twisted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head and a reed in his right hand, and they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. Then they spat on him and took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they took the robe off, put his own clothes on him, and led him astray, or led him away to be crucified. Now as they came out, they found a man, Simon of Cyrene by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they had come to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, the place of the skull, they gave him sour wine mingled with gall to drink. But when he had tasted it, he would not drink. Then they crucified him, divided his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken by the prophet. They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they casted lots. Verse 36, sitting down, they kept watch over him there, and they put up over his head the accusation written against him, This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Then two robbers were crucified with him, one on the right and another on the left, and those who passed by blasphemed him, wagging their heads and saying, You who destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross. Likewise, the chief priests, also mocking with the scribes, scribes and the elders said, "He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he is the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him. Now he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God." Even the robbers who were crucified with him reviled him with the same thing. And now from the 6th hour until the 9th hour, there was darkness over all the land. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani?" That is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Some of those who stood there, when they heard that, said, "This is a man calling for Elijah." Immediately one of them ran and took a sponge, filled it with sour wine, and put it on a reed, and offered it to him to drink. The rest said, "Let him alone. Let us see if Elijah will come and save him." Then Jesus cried out with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. Then behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth quaked, and the rocks split, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the graves after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many. So when the centurion and those with him were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and the things that had happened, they feared greatly, saying, "Truly, this was the Son of God." I read that whole passage. If anybody gets a broken heart, it's Jesus. We haven't experienced nothing. But there was one day, it was in the last few weeks, that, as was my custom, I would walk around the worship center and just pray. I just go around and around. And I prayed. I pray for healing for Angie every time I walk by her seat. And I pray for you all. And I'll be honest with you, there came a point where it was like just a lot on my mind, and I was just going around and I was praying, and I grabbed communion and I took it myself. And I was like, "Lord, I don't want to just take communion. I'm not interested in just taking communion just to think I'm doing some sort of religious thing." So I just held that bread in my hand, and I started thinking about the love that Jesus had to have to endure everything that he went through. The intense love, the passionate love that he had to get through what he had to get through. And I said, "Jesus, I want that love flowing in and through me." In another one of the Gospels, when he's hanging on the cross, the two robbers are on both sides of them, and he's talking to them. But then he prays to the Father and says, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Love flowed from the cross. Forgiveness flowed from the cross. So as we're taking communion even tonight, I am praying that love will saturate your hearts. That as you bring whatever condition your heart is, I have felt about every emotion possible, even joy. But as you bring that to the Lord tonight, I truly, truly just ask you, will you just invite him into the brokenness? Whatever is going on in life, whether it has anything to do with church or has nothing to do with church, we're all carrying stuff that Jesus says, "Hey, if you want, will you bring that to me?" So up here we've got juice, we've got bread. Here, we've got the bread. Just tear off a little piece or whatever. But if you want to get it and just come back to your seats, we'll take it as a big group here in just a second. But I want you to just get it and just hold it in your hand and just talk with the Lord. And whatever you're feeling that's on your heart, if it's anger, just share that with Him. If it's hurt, share that. And if it's confusion that's on your mind, share that with Him. But will you just bring everything that you're carrying, just bring it to Him. And we're just going to ask that He releases His unconditional, powerful, awesome love in this place. He releases His forgiveness into our hearts. That He will help you so that you're not carrying a burden that you're not intended to carry. Jesus took it to the cross. So as Noelle plays, I don't know if she's going to sing or what she wants to do, but if you would just, when you're ready, come up, grab juice, grab a piece of bread, head back to your seat, and we'll take communion together in just a few minutes. We just spend that time as she sings or whatever she does, just fixing your attention.